A 72-year-old man walked into my office and said, "Doctor, I thought intimacy was over for me until I changed just 4 vegetables in my diet." He wasn't taking pills. He wasn't doing anything extreme. But his blood flow, energy, and confidence had completely transformed. I'm Dr. William Lee, a physician and researcher with over 30 years of experience studying how the body heals itself. And a significant part of that work has focused on the science of blood vessels, angiogenesis, and the extraordinary power of food as medicine for older men. What if the key to stronger intimacy after 60 isn't a drug, a supplement, or a secret technique, but something quietly sitting in your kitchen right now? In this video, I'll reveal the 4 vegetables that naturally improve circulation, support healthy blood vessels, including the ones most important for your vitality and manhood, and reignite your intimacy. And stay with me, because the last one is a forgotten vegetable that works so fast even your doctor might be surprised. Before we continue, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a tip that could improve your circulation, your confidence, and your connection after 60. If you're finding this helpful so far, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and let me know how I can better support your health journey. Now that you know the real key to restoring intimacy after 60 could be sitting right in your kitchen, let's uncover the 4 powerful vegetables that are quietly transforming the lives of older men, one meal at a time. 1. Beets, nature's nitric oxide booster. When I first started recommending beets to older men in my research consultations, many would chuckle. "Beets? Really, doc?" But then weeks later, those same men would come back with a completely different tone. Hopeful, sometimes even amazed. They'd say things like, "I feel more alive," or "My wife and I feel closer again." That's when I knew we had something scientifically profound on our hands. Beets aren't just another vegetable. They are a natural circulatory powerhouse, especially for men over 60. You see, beets are exceptionally rich in dietary nitrates. And when you consume them, your body transforms those nitrates into nitric oxide, a molecule I've studied extensively in the context of vascular health. Nitric oxide relaxes and expands your blood vessels, allowing blood to flow more freely throughout your body, including to areas that deeply impact your sense of vitality and intimacy. As we age, our ability to produce nitric oxide declines significantly. That's one of the primary reasons so many older men experience cold hands and feet, afternoon fatigue, and yes, difficulty in the bedroom. But beets can help reverse that trend naturally. Clinical research has shown that consuming beet juice can measurably improve blood flow within hours. One well-documented trial demonstrated enhanced stamina and reduced blood pressure in older adults who drank beet juice daily. But this goes beyond numbers on a lab report. When your blood flows better, you feel more energized, more present, more confident. That is the true foundation of intimacy, feeling like yourself again, not just someone surviving the day. It's about showing up fully, not just physically, but emotionally too. Beets also protect the delicate lining of your arteries with antioxidants including betalains and vitamin C, ensuring long-term vascular health. They support your heart, your brain, and your hormonal environment. I've spoken with men who reported that after adding roasted beets or beet smoothies to their diet for just a few weeks, they noticed warmth and connection returning, not just in their bodies, but in their relationships. Here's a practical tip I often share. Try a beet salad with a splash of lemon juice and extra virgin olive oil. That combination not only enhances absorption of the nitrates, it amplifies the nitric oxide effect even further. The polyphenols in olive oil work synergistically with beet compounds to support vascular flexibility. But we're just getting started. If beets can unlock better circulation and revive intimacy naturally, imagine what happens when you pair them with a leafy green that works alongside them to keep your blood vessels flexible and your energy high. Let's move on to the next vegetable, one that's been quietly helping men feel strong, centered, and alive again. If you're still here and finding this journey meaningful, type the number 1 in the comments so I know you're with me. Now let's keep going. 2. Spinach. The unsung hero for blood flow, I'll never forget a conversation I had with a gentleman in his late 60s. He had started feeling distant from his partner, not emotionally, but physically. His energy was lower, intimacy just wasn't the same, and he wasn't ready to turn to medications. So I made one straightforward recommendation based on the science: eat spinach daily. He looked puzzled. But he trusted the evidence. And a month later, he reached back out with a message that said everything. Something's flowing again. Doctor, I don't know how else to describe it. Spinach may not sound exciting at first, but its effects on blood flow are scientifically remarkable, especially for older men. Like beets, spinach is loaded with natural nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide. This single molecule is responsible for relaxing blood vessels, improving circulation, and allowing blood to move easily through even the smallest capillaries. And when that blood reaches all the right places, your brain, your heart, and yes, your most intimate areas, you don't just function better, you feel more alive. But spinach doesn't stop at nitrates. It's also exceptionally rich in magnesium and potassium, 2 minerals that are absolutely critical for blood pressure regulation and muscular relaxation. For men over 60, this is fundamental. As blood vessels gradually stiffen with age, magnesium helps soften them, improving flow, reducing tension, and restoring the physical foundation for closeness and connection. Spinach also supports hormonal balance in a quiet but meaningful way. Magnesium plays a well-documented role in supporting healthy testosterone levels, while antioxidants such as lutein and vitamin C help protect the inner walls of blood vessels from oxidative damage associated with aging. The result is less systemic inflammation, steadier blood pressure, and improved stamina in every meaningful sense. I often recommend tossing a generous handful of spinach into morning eggs or blending it into a smoothie. Even raw in a salad with olive oil and lemon can produce powerful results over time. It's not a dramatic change, but the science is clear that consistent, gentle support outperforms any short-term intervention. And here's what I find most compelling about spinach scientifically. It works best as part of a synergistic approach. Because there's another humble food that doesn't just help blood flow, it actually helps clean your blood vessels from the inside out. It's ancient, it's pungent, and it might just surprise you. Let's move on. 3. Garlic. The circulation cleanser garlic has a way of surprising people. Most think of it as simply something to toss into a pan for flavor. But what if I told you this simple aromatic bulb could help restore the very thing many men quietly fear they've lost with age, strong blood flow, physical confidence, and the ability to feel truly connected again? The science behind garlic is something I find genuinely fascinating. The key compound is called allicin, which is released when garlic is chopped or crushed and briefly exposed to air. Allicin helps relax blood vessels, reduce arterial stiffness, and support healthy blood pressure in ways that have been confirmed across multiple clinical studies. But what matters most for men after 60 is this. Garlic improves the ability of blood to reach every part of the body, including those areas most intimately tied to vitality and connection. When blood flows freely, you don't just function better physically, you feel more present, more connected to yourself and to the person beside you. That's not a small thing. That's the foundation of intimacy. One of the most important mechanisms garlic works through is its natural anti-inflammatory properties. And this matters enormously because chronic low-grade inflammation is frequently what restricts circulation in the first place. By calming this silent systemic inflammation, garlic can restore flow where it matters most, not just to the heart and brain, but to the physical source of touch, pleasure, and confidence. What I appreciate most about garlic from a researcher's perspective is that it works gently, consistently, and without side effects when used as food rather than as a forced pharmaceutical intervention. Whether you roast it whole, saute it with spinach, or blend it into a homemade vinaigrette, garlic becomes more than a seasoning. It becomes part of your biological support system. A practical tip I always share: crush or finely chop fresh garlic and let it sit for 10 minutes before cooking. That brief resting period allows the enzymatic reaction that produces allicin to complete, maximizing the vascular benefit before heat touches it. And if you're thinking this might be too simple to work, just wait. Because the next vegetable doesn't just improve circulation, it also supports the hormonal environment that drives desire itself. It's light, it's crunchy, and ancient cultures once revered it as a symbol of masculine vitality. Let's talk about it. If you're still watching and these insights are resonating with you, type the number 1 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. Now let's continue with the 4th vegetable. 4. Celery. The silent circulation enhancer celery may not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think about restoring intimacy and vitality. But the science behind it is more compelling than most people realize. The key compounds in celery are called phthalides. These naturally occurring plant chemicals help relax the smooth muscle tissue surrounding your arteries, allowing blood to move more freely and with less resistance. That is precisely what men over 60 need. As blood vessels naturally stiffen with age and circulation slows to vital areas, phthalides work quietly in the background to ease that restriction and restore flow. When blood can reach every region of the body without fighting against resistance, intimacy feels easier, more natural, less effortful. The physical experience of closeness becomes accessible again rather than something you brace for with uncertainty. But celery offers more than phthalides. It is rich in potassium and magnesium, 2 minerals essential for heart rhythm, nerve conduction, and proper circulatory function. It also has a natural cleansing effect, helping the body clear excess sodium that can quietly elevate blood pressure and restrict blood flow over time. There's another dimension of celery's benefit that I find particularly meaningful for older men. It contains apigenin, a flavonoid compound with documented anti-inflammatory properties and emerging evidence suggesting it supports a healthy testosterone environment. Inflammation and hormonal imbalance are 2 of the most common quiet drains on a man's drive and vitality after 60, and celery addresses both simultaneously, gently, and naturally. Because it's low in calories but biologically active in meaningful ways, celery is easy to work into any daily routine. Whether you juice it in the morning, pair it with almond butter as a snack, or add it to soups and stews, it consistently delivers impact well beyond its humble appearance. I've observed this pattern repeatedly. Men who felt they were simply past their prime discovered they just needed the right nutritional support. And celery, overlooked, underestimated, and quietly extraordinary, often plays a crucial role in that recovery. But now let's take a step back, because as powerful as these 4 vegetables are individually, there's something much larger at work here. It's not just about what each one does in isolation, it's about what they represent together. Let's look more closely at how food, when chosen with scientific intention, becomes something far greater than nutrition. It becomes medicine for your heart, your body, and the most intimate parts of your life. 5. The bigger truth. Food as vascular medicine. Over the course of my career in medicine and research, I have worked alongside thousands of older men. Some frustrated, some quietly resigned, some simply looking for a credible reason to hope. And one thing I've come to understand deeply is this. The conversation about male vitality and intimacy after 60 is far too quiet. Too many men accept the narrative that when energy fades and physical closeness becomes harder to sustain, the only options are prescription medications or quiet surrender. But that is not the complete scientific picture. And I say that not just as a researcher who is published in peer-reviewed journals, but as a physician who has listened carefully to the fears and hopes of real men for 3 decades. Because what I have witnessed consistently is this. Food, when chosen with scientific intention and biological understanding, becomes something more than sustenance. It becomes medicine. Not the kind stored in a cabinet, but the kind that flows through your arteries, nourishes your nerve endings, supports your hormonal balance, and quietly gives back a version of yourself you may have thought was permanently gone. Think about what each of these vegetables actually does at the physiological level. Beets generate nitric oxide, the same molecule that pharmaceutical vasodilators attempt to mimic artificially. Spinach delivers magnesium and plant-based nitrates that soften arterial walls and stabilize cardiovascular rhythms. Garlic releases allicin that reduces vascular inflammation and improves the mechanical movement of blood through constricted pathways. Celery provides phthalides and apigenin that relax arterial smooth muscle and support the hormonal environment of masculine vitality. These aren't trendy superfoods. They're foods with documented biological mechanisms that happen to align precisely with what the aging male vascular system needs most. And together they create a nutritional environment where blood flows more freely, nerves respond more clearly, and the physical foundation for intimacy is restored. I've spoken with men who experienced genuine transformation after making these additions, not because of any single dramatic intervention, but because consistent daily choices compound over time. Small biological signals, repeated night after night and meal after meal, shift the internal environment in ways that matter. This is the core principle of my work. The body has an extraordinary capacity to heal and restore when given the right conditions. Aging is not a simple linear decline toward dysfunction. It is a biological shift that responds to environment, and food is one of the most direct ways to change that environment for the better. So when someone tells you that intimacy and vitality after 60 are simply casualties of aging, I want you to remember what you've learned today. Aging may be inevitable, but vascular decline, reduced blood flow, and the loss of physical confidence are not fixed outcomes. They are conditions, and conditions can be influenced. Sometimes the most powerful place to begin is the most ordinary place of all, your kitchen. 6. A better life. One bite at a time. As we come to the close of this conversation, I want to speak to you not as a researcher citing clinical data, but as someone who has walked alongside thousands of men navigating these same quiet frustrations, the same private questions, the same deep longing to feel fully alive again. Maybe you've been there. Maybe you've sat alone wondering why the energy feels dimmer, why your body doesn't respond the way it once did, why the closeness that used to come naturally now requires effort. Maybe you've told yourself it's simply part of getting older and there's nothing left to do about it. But I want you to pause right here and absorb something important, something I've watched unfold more times than I can count in 30 years of this work. Aging is not the end of vitality. It is not the end of closeness. It is not the end of desire. It is a new season. And what you feed your body in this season matters more than at any previous point in your life. We began today with a simple but powerful scientific truth. Better circulation is the foundation of intimacy. Without it, energy fades, physical connection weakens, and confidence quietly erodes. But we also uncovered something equally powerful, that there are natural, accessible, everyday foods that can genuinely restore what has been lost. Beets, with their exceptional nitric oxide generating capacity, help blood flow to the places that matter most, not just for physical function, but for the emotional experience of feeling present and alive. Spinach, rich in magnesium and plant-based nitrates, softens blood vessels and stabilizes the cardiovascular rhythms that underpin everything. Garlic, ancient and humble, works like a biological cleanser, reducing the inflammation and arterial stiffness that silently holds circulation back. And celery, light and overlooked, relaxes the smooth muscle surrounding arteries, supports hormonal balance, and quietly rebuilds the physical foundation of intimacy. These are not superfoods because they're fashionable. They are powerful because they work for real men in real bodies, dealing with real biological changes. Men who thought their best years were firmly behind them have found themselves waking up feeling warmer, stronger, and more connected. Not because of a dramatic intervention, but because they made small, consistent, scientifically grounded changes that accumulated into something genuinely meaningful. I have always believed, and my research has consistently supported, that food is one of the most underutilized tools available to us for rewriting the story of how we age. It isn't simply about blood pressure numbers or cholesterol panels. It's about the life you want to live, the laughter you want to share, the hand you want to hold, the mornings you want to remember. These 4 vegetables may appear ordinary, but when used with understanding and consistency, they open a door to something profound, renewed trust in your own body, renewed connection with your partner, and renewed belief in what's still biologically possible. You deserve that. Regardless of your age, regardless of how long the decline has been building, the biological truth is this: it is rarely too late to shift the internal environment. The body's capacity for restoration is more resilient than most men are ever told. The vascular system responds to support. The hormonal environment responds to nutrition. Inflammation responds to dietary intervention. And when those systems begin to recover, even partially, the results are felt in ways that reach far beyond the clinical. So tonight, when you sit down for dinner, perhaps the table looks a little different. Perhaps you add some roasted beets alongside your meal. Perhaps you saute spinach with crushed garlic and olive oil. Perhaps you pour a fresh glass of celery juice in the morning and begin the day with biological intention rather than biological resignation. Whatever you choose, let it be more than a meal. Let it be a deliberate act of self-respect, a step toward more energy, deeper intimacy, and the kind of sustained connection that endures long after the plate is empty. Because every choice you make at the table is a choice about the kind of life you want to live in this season. And the better you feel from the inside out, the more fully you can show up for the people who matter most to you. You've stayed with this conversation to the end, and I believe, with the right scientific knowledge and consistent daily action, your best days are not behind you. They are still ahead. Let this be your beginning. If this message spoke to you, take one concrete action today. Add one of these 4 vegetables to your next meal and pay attention to how your body begins to respond over the following days and weeks. The changes won't be dramatic at first, but they will be real. And if you found this valuable, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and share this video with a man you care about. Many men are carrying these questions silently. Your share could be the moment that changes how someone sees their own health and their own possibilities. Type "I'm ready" in the comments if you're taking the first step toward better circulation, deeper connection, and a fuller life after 60. I read every comment personally, and your stories matter to the work I continue to do. I'm Dr. William Lee, and if there's one thing 3 decades of research has taught me, it's this: your body has not stopped wanting to heal. It's simply been waiting for the right conditions. Give it those conditions, one meal at a time.